All right, everybody, we are back and we are set for round one. I feel like you need to scoot. All right, this is going to be great for me because it's going to be a Kano mirror.
I thought you were saying the players meeting was the coolest one you ever heard.
It was pretty cool. You know, we told them about the Battle Hardened, so I'll tell you about the Battle Hardened. We got a Battle Hardened coming up here in Los Angeles, June 24th, 25th. Tickets at age.events. Almost said .com. No, age.events. Things down there at the bottom.
Yes.
Check that out. But yeah, we got a Kano mirror.
Kano mirror.
So this is going to be a weird game where all we got to do is keep track of whose turn it is.
Who are the two Kanos?
We got Tiffany
I
and
know
we
her.
got Eugene.
I don't know him.
Apparently Eugene's very good. I heard him talking about Kano before, while people were setting up. And he sounds like he knows some things.
I heard a rumor from somebody else you'll hear more from later that he knows his pitch deck from top to bottom. Don't think that's going to be a thing in the mirror, though.
He knows his pitch deck top to bottom on the first cycle.
Nice. That's actually illegal, so we should DQ him immediately.
No, apparently, yeah, he's a true Kano player. He believes in the Aether and pitches his stack well, as they say.
I think we should address something real quick. This square, this square right here, is a light, and it reminds me of the thing from the mat from Bolton with this sword where it's so bright on the mat where the mat is just white. So Bolton player,
Bolton's here with us in spirit.
yeah,
All right, let's do it.
Oh
Boom, boom,
God,
boom.
it's real.
Kano v Kano. They're looking away from each other because they ain't friends.
We've been doing a lot of Kano on what is this thing? Arcane Games, which makes sense. Because
It's an arcane game, that's right. I mean, Kano seems to be well positioned currently in the meta. There's a lot of fast red decks, and people just tend not to respect the arcane.
I'm sure both of these people did not want to do this in round one.
Probably. It's a weird one for sure. I enjoy this matchup because it's kind of insanity. You just sit there the whole time, kind of like not doing a lot until someone tries to do something to you, and then you try to clap back, but then you got to remember whose turn it is because you don't want to be caught up on your turn with no cards when they draw up a full thing.
Is there any cards in their deck that they're only playing for the mirror, or literally zero consideration for another Kano walking in? Because I guess you do have to tech for Icelander, and that just bleeds over into this match probably.
I mean, I'm curious if they play Alluvian in this matchup. Maybe not, but just because the value of Crucible, it's only one to activate Crucible.
Right.
But I think I've tried that in the past. I'm not sure if there's any like specific cards they have in their sideboard for the mirror, but I am curious if maybe they run more or less time snap potions if they think they're gonna have to do some more top deck manipulation to get to where they need to be because they might not have the time to set up their combo. Because I think essentially, I'm not sure the kind of deck that Eugene's playing, but I think Tiffany is probably running the Arsenal Pass style Aether Wildfire deck.
I like that card. Tiffany also, it's I don't want to say the wrong word, but I'm pretty sure she did like magician stuff. So look how good she is with doing these cards like this.
Does she do close-up magic?
I think so.
That'd be so tight. I love that.
She's always wanted a magician hero. And I was like, oh, how's that different from a wizard? But it's like sleight of hand stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's gonna like be that with it of like playing pick a card, any card. That'd be crazy in this deck. But
So we're both got a little bit of flex. Eugene's got the Marvel Kano, which makes me so jealous, and then Tiff's got a cool little
is that an
like
altar?
a 3D alt art cutout one that looks pretty sweet. So some Kano lovers. So if you don't like Kano, go away for 5 minutes, but leave the stream on so we can get your views.
I think Tiffany's been playing Kano for a while too.
She had, yeah. She's played, I think, kind of on and off for a long time, but lately she's been mostly playing Kano, which I fully respect because it's fun.
Because she was doing it at...
She just, slapped
I
his...
think literally a year ago at what was like Road to Nationals or something there in not Road to Nat. I think Road to Nats last year when I was playing Bolton. I played her and she was learning Kano at that point. So pretty much a year of stuff. I do like that Feiyu from last month, who top 4 is Kano, is cheering on a fellow Kano player. So maybe they looked at his placing last month and were like, oh, maybe I'll try that.
I think Tiff was here last month playing Kano. To be fair.
Great. Great. She's like, still a good decision.
I think he's in a good spot, to be honest, in this meta. I think the biggest hurdle is Dromai. That matchup is just either slaughter or get slaughtered.
Right.
And it sometimes feels 50-50 and other times feels unwinnable. But I think the other biggest issue is Oldhim. I think just the amount of arcane barrier that they can carry and just block all of your damage, and Oasis Respite in the mix as well makes it a little bit hard. I know Eugene was kind of talking about earlier, thinking about a Stir the Aether Winds style thing if Oldhim, continues to be a top deck.
I mean, I would love to see Stir come back into play, or maybe even somebody figure out Blessing of Aether. I think that's a card that I would love to have somebody figure out. We do see Alluvian.
Yep.
So this is 4 AB on each side. And I think what's interesting is both of these shoes and boots, when they get activated, the AB goes away.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a kill turn that will come into play where it's going to be a very intricate finish of this game no matter what happens.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the same thing with the Metacarpus nodes. Interesting pointing out that Eugene's got Waning Moon, I believe. Some people think that's better in the Wizard matchups, which I've had like kind of different results. It feels good sometimes, and then other times I wish I could push my damage higher with the Crucible, but it is just kind of that thing where you can constantly chip damage, which I think gives you an incremental edge in this position. Especially, I mean, you play out Epot turn 0, which is exactly what you want to see, and then you're just like, okay, I'll also just hit you for a couple damage as well.
Right. And I think what's interesting about that is Eugene's going to be doing damage over time. Tiffany has way bigger combo potential now than her opponent. So maybe that's a thing where she's like, there's no access to Crucible to bump up everything by 1. So if we go toe-to-toe, my toe's a little bigger.
Get that big toe.
Big toe Kano. I think we're thinking about doing damage to each other. Oh, Eugene, we can't hear him talk, but I think he's Waning Mooning himself to get ahead on Alluvian counters.
Nice.
Which is, I think, a little cute. Instead of like, oh, you got to do that every time. I think it's something where maybe we get cards out of your opponent's hand, but Tiffany hasn't activated Kano yet, so maybe he was waiting for that. But Tiffany is very disciplined to wait, hold priority, and now start Kanoing.
Looks like she is passing. She's sinking Blazing Aether.
Yeah. She'll lesson in lava that later.
And, just a nice little setup turn for Eugene there. I think doing the Waning Moon on yourself is just like a nice way to get your counter started on Alluvian. It's kind of like, starting turn 0 with Tunic. You get that 1 counter on there. But I do think it is a little cute. But I'm sure, oh, here we go. It's going to be one of those games where they just do the same thing back and forth to each other.
I do like the smiles that, this is a club, and they're both in it, and, they know what's going to happen. And it's just like, we're just going to sit over here. I'm going to put the water in my Super Soaker. You put the water in your Super Soaker. I'll fill up my water balloon. You fill up your water balloon. But instead of all this, it's just like pyroclasm magic or whatever.
Yeah, instead of a water balloon, it's a fire balloon.
Yeah.
But they're still going, tee-hee.
Right. That reminds me of the summer where you're just like, I'm in a water balloon fight. This is the most fun ever. But as soon as I get blasted and completely soaked through and my phone gets ruined, I'm going to never want to do this again.
Absolutely. It is a bit of a club. When you sit down against another Kano player, you're just like, hell yeah, let's let's do this. I know we're in for a
Right.
bit of a weird one. So over back to Eugene's turn. He's coming in for Lesson in Lava. See, this is where I miss Crucible a lot of the
Yes.
time, is that your Lesson in Lava comes in for 3. They do both have 4 AB, so they could pitch 4, but generally that feels pretty bad to do. So it's like just being able to block a lot of these like 3 damage arcane attacks is tough. But I'm gonna give Eugene the benefit of the doubt because I do know a lot of people like the waning moon in
Right.
this matchup. I think I'm not sure if there's like a split between whether you should do it against Icelander or against just all wizards in general, but I know that's kind of the thought that people.
And I know Tiffany probably has 1 or 2 other Kano players in Hidden Fortress to play against. So I'm wondering if she's like, nope, I have a clear game plan against this, or maybe she's learning how to play against Waning Moon on the fly. But I think most Kano players are like, it's the same game plan against everyone. I'm just waiting to find the target for Ragamuffin, put this on top, and then do 600 damage to you. We have a meta breakdown if you're interested in that. Oldham and Azalea are tied
Nice.
for the most. 5 each of those guys. Our one-ofs are Dash, Reinar, Viserai, Phi, Dory, and Levia. And then there's a bunch of 4 3s and 2s, you know?
No.
We'll talk about those in a second.
Eugene responding on Tiffany's turn. Oh no, it's still his turn. He
Energy
is
potion number
Kanoing.
2.
Get another energy potion, just wrecking the top of his deck like a true Kano player. And that's exactly what you want to see. You want to get those energy potions. They are value for you, either to protect you if you have no cards against another arcane attack, or to help you just end the game with a lot of style.
I think the thing that's interesting in the matchup that never is dampen. What is dampen doing? Of like, okay, go ahead and do your big old spell. I play a red dampen at the last second when you don't have any resources to block this. I can do like 3 arcane to you, and then the next 3 arcane that hit me don't hit me, and it's kind of like a spell void thing.
Dampen's a weird one. I think
Like I've never seen that resolved correctly, right?
yeah, I think the timing, especially against another wizard, gets a little bit dubious, and it never quite works out the way you want because they can respond to it. Uh, so it is that thing where it seems great, but it is an action. So,
Right.
but it feels more like some like an arcane defense reaction. So Tiff's playing out this Tome of Findel, I believe, from her arsenal.
Which is kind of bad because it gives a window for the other wizard to like pop off. And so there was an activation to get Tome of Aetherwind, which means he can go grab 2 more cards to like priority is back to Eugene is what I'm trying to say right now. And like it doesn't feel good when you're trying to draw cards and go heal yourself when the other wizard's like, okay, I'll take this point to do 15 damage to you.
Ooh, and he Kanos off a or Ether Wildfire, which now he's thinking, do I just, can I pump it with the Tome of Aetherwind as well? Because while that's not always the move, I personally have found a lot of value in using the pump selection on the tome rather than just drawing cards, especially if you have a good amount of blues. He's still got 3 cards. He could easily Kano and pump this thing so that he's coming in for a much bigger attack than he would otherwise.
Tiffany's not completely defenseless though.
Oh, he's Kanoing again.
Because we've got an energy Aether Spindle is going to be very gross.
Yeah, this is this is gonna be a great turn. Yeah, everyone hold on to your butts. Eugene has nothing but choices here on how he wants to resolve this. He could
2 cards in hand. Like,
he
what
could
the hell is happening?
he could Ether Spindle, look at the top of his deck, figure out if he wants to draw a card or if he can Kano another card, or I guess
Draw?
okay,
Draw.
he's drawing. Um, I don't know. I feel like you could push the damage on your wildfire and also look at your ether spindle and find something else to just like probably do almost 29 damage this turn.
And
Um,
the weird part though is if Eugene whiffs after using Wildfire and buffs up Wildfire, then any kind of arcane that Tiffany does is also affected by the Wildfire.
that is true.
So that just like if I say 28 and then Tiffany goes, well, she doesn't have her own Wildfire because it can't be the opponent's turn twice, but
Yeah.
there's maybe a blazing Aether. I mean,
Ether,
something
flare.
gross.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if she gets like an ether
Aether
flare
flares it
that gets
there.
pumped by that, and then her next one gets. She's got 2 floating to prevent damage. Which,
Waning Moon is bait. Oh, you can't. Oh, the door's open. Can't say that too loud. Okay, we're closing the door. Waning Moon is bait, so Tiffany not blocking that is the right way.
mm-hmm.
You just take Waning Moon damage there, and that's maybe the game plan too. Of my opponent can't block the Waning Moon if they're going to block all this other stuff afterwards too.
Yeah, you're just getting that chip damage in there. That's what the Waning Moon is in the deck for. This is still Tiffany's turn, despite there being 6 cards in Eugene's pitch zone. Now he's going to send off this wildfire.
This is a blue or a red. This is
I think it's a blue.
cool. We're blocking 4 of that, so that's
Blocks
just
the whole thing.
completely gone. That's going to resolve and do
3 damage.
3?
So he's going to opt 3.
3.
Yeah, 7 cards in Eugene's pitch on Tiffany's turn, but Tiff's still going to draw 2 cards and gain 2 health, and Eugene will have used a couple really strong power card, like 2 tomes and Ether Wildfire and Ether Spindle to get in just a couple of damage, and then leave him pretty open on his turn, which is the dance you play when you're in the Kano mirror, like. Because just because Eugene has no cards and you feel like you can Kano and for free get some damage in, that also, if you don't kill them, that leaves you open to the same thing. So it's just always this back and forth of what's like, what can I do and what can I get away with, and will I just leave myself open to get slaughtered on the next turn?
I mean, he's using a lot of resources right now, so I'm wondering Sonic Boom will help.
Yeah, so he knows what's coming next too. So this is gonna hit.
Yes.
But it is only for 3. Tiff has her energy potion, so she's probably thinking, "Do I pop this now?" Yep. And then
This is the safe way to play it.
Likely, most cards in Eugene's deck are 1 or 0 costed. There's only a couple of 2 costs, like the Wildfire Spindles and Sonic Booms, I think. Maybe Swell Tidings if he's got that in here as well. Emeritus Swell Tidings, I think, and the Wildfire and Spindle. So
Everything's just a 1 cost, so it's like.
So a very strong likelihood that he can play this for free. If he can't,
It's just Aether Wildfire, and then he was super greedy for no reason.
I mean, Sonic Boom, one of my favorite cards. It just leads to some really fun situations that either just happen or you set up through opting or stacking or manipulating the top of your deck or stacking your pitch. Wow, how many cards now? Was that 8 cards in his pitch zone?
That is 8. I think the other thing that's kind of interesting about this is Tiffany is going to draw 2 cards, and she'll be able to arsenal one of those.
Yep.
And then draw up to have a full. I can do whatever I want to Eugene on my next turn. So if one of these 2 is Aether Wildfire, Eugene now goes to, oh crap, what's going to happen to me next turn?
Yeah.
Which I think is a really fun seesaw of this matchup of Tiffany has survived 24 pitch basically.
Yeah,
and only took 5 damage after healing up a couple.
She's got to feel pretty good about that. She's got a couple Sonic Booms in her hand, unfortunately.
Those are not blue.
Yeah, I think she's got. It looks like she's got 2 blues, 2 yellows. Sonic Boom definitely not the best on your opponent's turn unless you're hitting it off the top with Kano's abilities. So right now, I think she's got to figure out: do I want to peek at the top? In this situation, I feel you Kano if you've got
And
resources and
Evan
to see
can't
what's there.
get enough. Did you see him go from I'm going to look at Eugene's cards to I'm going to walk over and look at Tiffany's? I want to know every single piece of information.
Yeah.
Evan is also kind of a part of this club because he plays Kano and Blitz
So
unsuccessfully. I mean,
I mean,
sheesh.
he did get to the finals. He just didn't happen to win against
Yeah,
the one and
Icelander
only
too
Blake.
strong.
So Tiffany activating Kano. This is Eugene's turn. Like I said, that's the biggest thing to keep track of in this matchup.
But
Uh,
if she whiffs, then Eugene is like, okay, cool, I can do 24 to you. Because he saved a card in his arsenal, and a blue off the top is awful.
yeah, that's not great. Prognosticate. I think it's a 0 cost.
That's the new zap that if you do, you can opt if it does more than one, which is never probably worth. Yeah, he's like, I'll go to 29.
I think
First blood.
I think it is the case where she has Sonic Boom in her hand. She knows that on her turn she's probably going to play that, so she doesn't want to hit this prognosticate then. So might as
Nice.
well
Oh,
get it out now.
that is a. I did not think of that layer. You have played Kano. I have not, because I would not think of that.
Yeah. So sometimes you do just want to play those stupid blues off the top, even though they don't do much. She does get 1 damage, which ain't nothing. But Sonic Boom coming in for 4 again. The Crucible helping out, making this a more impactful attack. But Eugene responding with Kano. And he's like, I
Oh my
also have a
god.
Sonic Boom. Tiffany giving a little laugh. They're both laughing. This is why we play Kano, is because you're like, well, what's on top? Sweet.
I think one thing about Flesh and Blood too is when you're playing a mirror or any kind of like oh, I played my Blood Rush a turn as my if I'm playing a mirror, I have a power card, my opponent has the same power card. It's the attacking player or the person with priority that always ends up winning that because then you're making your opponent block with their power cards. I know it's a little different with arcane stuff, but like if I draw my Codex of Frailty one turn before everyone else draws their Codex of Frailty, I'll be raising my banner in the rafters after this.
Yeah. Again, though, the Sonic Boom from him will only come in for 3. So it's much easier for her to block this when he does it if she has a blue in hand, which she doesn't. It's a yellow, so I guess that solves
Yeah.
that. She could have actually, I think, activated Illuvian. You remove 2 counters. Yeah, she could have activated Illuvian to pay for her Crucible and kept the one floating, which might have been a better value play just to make sure she had some extra um, pitch to deal with this. So we got a Scalding Rain coming in. Is that a blue?
That's a 1 for 2.
So coming in for free since she did a little bit of damage from Sonic Boom, but not the power play she's really hoping for with Sonic Boom. That is why a lot of people dislike this card, because it can. The bottom is low.
I mean, it's better than Chain Lightning though, so
It's true.
that's not getting into a deck anytime soon. Oh, there's one Chain Lightning.
Chain Lightning is in there. It can be very good. It's often is not.
A Hail Mary card, or how does Chain Lightning work?
Chain Lightning combos with like snapbacks and other things like that. And I think in the best situations, it just allows you another instant activation. Um, Especially if you Kano it, but in my experience, I never hit it off the top with a Kano, and it also requires you to play another card. So
Oh my gosh! So it's like a
it's
boot target, like big finish, grand finale.
yeah, I think it's kind of a win more card, to be honest.
Oh,
Um,
not a good game to be playing win more cards like Flesh
yeah.
and Blood.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know how it's actually functioning these days. I know how we used to use it, but the decks used to be we had Stir the Ether Winds and shit like that, so it was easier to like always hit off of it. You can also do funny stuff with Gaze the Ages, which Eugene did just play and opted to. Um, the other best card in Kano's deck, probably the best blue in the whole game, to be honest, because you opt and then you get it back in your hand, which is pretty incredible.
There's one yellow I'm seeing in Eugene's deck list. I don't know if it comes into the Wizard mirror. Mind Warp.
Mind Warp, that's a great one. I think people are sleeping on Mind Warp. Yeah, I think against aggro heroes, it's probably a bit better just because they're not going to block.
Is there like a Wizard Harpoon?
Uh, well, it Mind Warp's the one where if you surge, they have to. I think shove they bottom the cards and then they draw that many -1, which is really good against certain
Collapsing
decks.
Trap with Arcane on it?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Well, Collapsing Trap you discard, which is just insane. That when I read that after reading the card multiple times, I was like, this is pretty good. All right, so
We have switch turns.
it is Eugene's turn. He's coming in with an Emeritus Scolding.
So this won't get the buff, but this is still going to be gross. I think if you're watching at home and you're like, what do I do as a Kano person? I think you play Waning Moon because that is the damage that's getting across and inching Tiffany closer and closer. I think we've already prefaced it. We've already said this. It's all going to come down to like the final flurry of spells. So every little point of damage is just positioning. It's like, well, yeah, that's how the game works. But the 3 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage is making Tiffany a lot closer to any card off the top of my deck is kill instead of like a specific 4-card combo.
Yeah, it yeah. So I think there is that kind of chip portion of it, but it also comes down to the sequencing of that last turn. I think, as our producer whispers into my ear, that whoever casts Wildfowl first, it might be losing this game.
So we have a Potion of Deja Vu. They each have it in their list.
Yeah.
Tiffany just pitched it, so we're not going to see the power of it. But Potion of Deja Vu is kind of like craft your kill turn in your pitch zone.
Basically, yeah. It allows you the flexibility to fix what otherwise might be a bad hand of cards because you can pitch the cards to pay for themselves, which is extremely powerful, especially along with the Ragamuffins hat. And it just gives you that extra value. It basically like you turn a red card into something that you can pitch and play on the same turn. You pay for the Kano activation, activate Potion of Deja Vu, and then you get to play that card you just pitched, which is pretty sweet. And of course, if you can set up the top of the deck to benefit you even more, it just really benefits you over the long term. So Tiffany coming in with the Lesson in Lava for 4. Again, Crucible, pretty sweet.
We crucibled with the Luvian. One thing that was happening in that whole last exchange, Eugene put his 4 cards down on the table, didn't touch them at all, every single priority window through 3 or 4 of Tiffany's priority window. What does that mean when you're looking across the table at another Kano player? Does that mean I've got a bunch of cards I don't care about? I have a bunch of reds. That's interesting. Tiffany, do it.
Do it, Tiffany.
Do
Let's
it.
go.
And that's something where that was apparent. Tiffany's closer. She could see I'm not doing anything during 4 priority windows. There's no thought. I'm just saying pass, pass, pass. That is a weak play.
Oh, she get a little head tilt on that one. All right, Swell Tidings.
Swell Tidings is going to be gross.
Nice.
Blessings in Lava hasn't resolved yet, so she'll get to do whatever she wants with that as well.
So
This
coming
is
in with
gonna
Swell
be
Tidings.
A juicy turn for her.
Yeah, that comes in for 6 or 5. Yeah, 5. 6. I always add in the Crucible just because that's the way my wizard brain works.
Crucible is hitting the other spell though.
That's right. So Lesson in Lava coming in as well, and then or did he already take that damage?
I guess that happened.
Oh, he blocked. That's where he pitched all those
Oh,
cards. Yeah, sorry.
yeah. True. 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 What's also interesting about having the reds and blocking is now on Eugene's turn. It's that double window of like, oh crap,
Hmm.
double time. It's not worth playing Hope Merchant's Hood though, hoping you're
No.
not going to play a Kano mirror. You're just hoping there's not another Kano. I'm the only Kano in the room. Is what you're hoping.
Ragamuffin is too vital to crafting your kill turn. Similar to Potion of Deja Vu, it just allows you to get the exact card you want out of your hand onto the top of your deck. Gain more resources by drawing a card, or at least netting equal resources if you draw like another red. Um, so
I've
it's just too good.
never seen Evan this interested in a game in my entire life.
This is a great game right now. They've both played really really well. It hasn't been too conservative. They've been pushing damage. They've been blocking it. But we are getting into the state where you have to overextend yourself a little bit because of what you have in hand, and you don't want to take too much damage.
Sonic Boom in hand sucks, right?
Sonic Boom in hand sucks on your opponent's turn for sure.
Right.
But she got this Aether Spindle off the top, so this is this is where the forking paths of Kano decisions begins. It's like, okay, well, if I play this and I can opt up to 5 cards, if he doesn't block it, then basically anything can happen from this point going forward. But she doesn't want to overextend herself either.
Right.
That's again keeping.
Unless she gets to opt here, and then it's full speed ahead because you know exactly what's coming.
Could be, yeah. If you're lucky, you get exactly what you want off the top. But she doesn't have a lot of resources in hand. I think she's got a Tome of Aetherwind and another
That's
blue.
the 4th red.
Yeah, he
had
had
a 4 red hand.
Yeah,
Tiffany
they're both
was like, I should
laughing
have killed
about
you last turn. This is disgusting.
So that's the thing.
Green light.
She now has a green light, but he does have a energy potion, so she has to be able to do 18 damage at least, which with 2 cards is a pretty tall order. I think she does have the Tome of Aetherwind in hand, so there is something she could do where she Kanos and draws 2 blues and then has like a dope red. If she like has 2 blues and a red right here in her opt, she could put the 2 blues on top, draw those, and then no. So it doesn't look like that's happening. So we'll see.
1 card on top, 2 cards on the bottom. What does that mean for the other Kano looking for that information too?
I think it can mean it depends what she's trying to do. If she's trying to go for a kill turn, she could have put in 2 like reds, 2 blues on the bottom, put the red on top. If she's
she wants to draw the card she just put on top.
Yeah, there you go. I forgot. It was Eugene's turn.
But anytime she's going to go to her deck, that's a window for Eugene. He says, go for it. She put...
Yeah, she put 2 blues on top. I think that's a smart move because now she has a lot of flexibility. She can Kano a bit and see what happens.
Or block.
Or she's ready to block if she needs to. Because drawing 4 reds is really bad this late into the game, and that's
a great target there.
It's a great card to see. But she is riding this. She's riding close to the edge here, where if she fires this off and leaves herself open for Eugene, like he's had that card parked in Arsenal for a bit. So I would assume it's part of a combo piece. Which part, I don't remember, but...
Lava's going to go to 4 here. Will Anthony Del Taco Zacella go into the bathroom only 22 minutes into the round? He probably murdered somebody using Art of War.
It's the way he likes to do it. So, Lesson in Lava hits.
Pitch deck ruined. Go grab whatever card I want.
Well, pitch deck is not going to be a factor in this game unless it's just the top of your deck.
Okay, so Chain Lightning.
So
is that the time to play it?
maybe. I mean, she has to be able to Kano it off. So
Or dampen. Is this a time where it's like dampen's not only an attack? What does it say? Does it ruin the arcane damage to block damage? Is it that weird?
dampen.
I literally do not know.
Dampen says deal 4 arcane to any target, prevent the next X arcane damage that would be dealt to your hero this turn, where X is the damage dealt by dampen.
Dampen is godlike right here.
It could be, but he could also just not.
Okay, we're doing that one.
It could also just not,
The one everyone remembers that you clearly always get is the doubler.
Yeah.
Blazing Aether.
Blazing Aether here just gonna provide some good value. Although this is gonna leave, if she Kanos this off the top, it's gonna leave her wide open on his turn, and he took all that damage. And 17 is not an insane thing to ask for on your turn. The question is, did she do that to draw it or Kano it? It looks like she's doing it to draw it. Okay, so she might have the combo piece in Arsenal and is now drawing a bunch of blues with her Blazing Aether so that she can try to win this game here. So Eugene playing, I think, his last Toma Aetherwind, and he's going to go up to 5 cards.
12 is not healthy.
12 is not, but 17 isn't that much better, to be honest. If we're talking Blaze or Aether Wildfire turn, it's not that hard. I mean, you basically get there even if they block most of the Aether Wildfire.
Right.
So this is going to be an interesting turn. I feel like if it's not, I don't know. I feel like this could be the last turn.
Tiffany's at 14 too because Eugene has a free Waning Moon, which is always going to come in and always probably going to hit.
Well,
so like
it's his turn though, so
well,
she's at 15.
Then it's like 15 then.
And he does have his Illuvian charged. So yeah, this is a great question to ask as a wizard against another wizard. Is like, here, I'm gonna draw 2 cards. Do you want?
I don't like that at all. Yeah.
Do you want to? Does that mean I'm in a weak position? Or does that mean I'm in a strong position and getting stronger? Like if he had 3 other red cards, maybe it is the time to like pop off and go for it before that resolves. But if you can't quite get to 12 before that resolves, you leave yourself open as well.
Eugene breathed a sigh of relief. And now we're going to start our BS of tome into tome into tome and draw 6 cards a turn as a wizard.
Yeah. I'm probably in the minority. I kind of hate hitting Tome of Findel off of a Kano just because you have to pay for it, and that just feels bad.
It just seems like you're like, what do I want to draw into?
Yeah.
The thing I want or the thing that gets me another chance at the thing I want? I just want the thing I want.
And I'm always worried that I'm going to draw into the cards I wish I'd Kano. So I think that's, Eugene here is Kanoing first to make sure that there's not some gas on top that he doesn't want in hand.
He said, I'm going to holding priority so I can look at...
And there he goes. But it is his turn, so this isn't this isn't the wildfire we have at home.
This is just say 2 cost 4 damage spell.
Yeah, but
the worst thing that happens out of his deck.
It is kind of a deterrent because if Tiffany tries to wildfire right now, she's going to pump all his stuff. Which is it a game of chicken? Do you let him? Do you just keep passing priority to force him to play it and then respond after he does his damage, or is it like a bluff? Like, does he put that out there? I don't even know if this is even a smart thing to do, but does he put that out there?
It's a game of blazing hot chicken.
Ooh.
I do think the thought process of Tiffany not touching her arsenal card for 4 or 5 turns means you're not going to like it when she flips it over. Because if it wasn't a combo card...
I was like, he's just taking cards off the top of his deck. That is the Tome of Findel resolving.
Well, there's no healing because it's not from Arsenal. That's not how that works.
All right, so here we go. Wildfire coming in.
4.
Coming in for 4. So
Tiffany's like...
She definitely wants to... if she's trying to play her Wildfire, she wants to wait till this resolves fully. Although, no, I guess it wouldn't matter because it's on the play. So now her window's there, but he does have 4 cards in hand and another arsenal card, plus energy potion,
Right.
alluvian, all his other equipment. So he is definitely not in a position of weakness here. And
I'm gonna block 3 of that. Take 1. Grab a counter. I do like Tiffany is playing this as defensively as possible. This is somebody who's like, I'm only going to wait until I get good poker cards before I bet in. She's waiting for her better cards to show up.
ooh,
She's not
that
going
is
all in on a 2-6 bluff at all here.
that is another great card to see off the top. Ether flare, uh, the mini wildfire pumping the next one by the damage dealt.
And if Eugene gets Tiffany to waste more of her resources, he'll be able to blow her out next turn, which I think is the idea here of if Tiffany's not going to go for it and block some, let me keep applying pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she's at the point where she needs to decide if she is going to go for it. I think pitching that one blue is not really helping her. If she wants to go for it, it is just keeping her alive. But if she has to pitch too much, and then on her turn either overextend herself or just hold back her cards,
Right.
it can be iffy. Okay, so she's
Oof,
going defensive,
Tiffany.
which I don't know if that's right or wrong. I feel like she's in a weird spot where he is not weak. So if she goes for it, she needs to ensure that she will win.
Taking the waning moon, super smart. He didn't use the alluvian because he probably wants to draw another better card. I think that's a thing that you could mess up every once in a while is using alluvian when you're like, dang, I wish I would have pitched this crappy card out of my hand.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm really I'm I'm wondering what I'm wondering if Tiffany should have just gone for it. If she should have tanked all that damage, um, and just like gone for it. Maybe she would have gone really low. It is risky, just even with that energy potion and a red. If he hits a blue card off the top of his deck, off of that ether flare, pumping it like that would be, that could be pretty devastating. So that kind of stuff is hard to play around, especially when there's so much unknown there. But we'll see what Tiffany does here. I feel like it could be a pass. See if Eugene does anything.
Pass. See if Eugene does anything. Is he waning moon when he can't? I'm just kidding. He's Kanoing. Tricked you.
So he's banishing the gaze, the ages. He's got to wait to play something else for that to really be valuable for him.
He just sunk his head down.
That was an interesting, some body language, some.
I think what's crazy about
thinking
this,
here.
I don't know. I'm not trying to, like, I'd just be looking at Evan's eyes the whole time. Maybe I'm a bad person, but I'd be like, Evan. Not asking him to tell me, but like, Evan is.
Oh,
Blazing
that,
Aether only works for Eugene. It's not like it also doubles Tiffany's stuff. Don't worry.
so he's gonna play. I think he's gonna play this and then hold priority and do a bunch of wizard stuff. So
Gaze.
he plays the gaze. Gonna opt to gaze to come back to his hand. So he'll have 3 cards in hand. I assume he's got a wildfire or lesson in lava in his arsenal. So this is a very threatening position. However, if Tiffany has 2 blues, she could skate around this.
I think the way Tiffany's been playing is she held these cards for a reason because she didn't have anywhere close to a kill turn. And it would have been off the top. So I think in my vast knowledge of playing 0 games as Kano, I would assume Tiffany has 2 blues in her hand. And that's why she's passing, because it's like, go ahead and use another round of your best cards, Eugene, because I'm going to block 6 of it, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another counter, I'll draw up, and then try and kill you after it.
Yeah, because again, this is her turn, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yes.
this is her turn. So if he plays out all his cards again, she's going to be in a really good spot to finish this game.
Gaze is a free Kano.
Ooh.
This is a 6 damage spell for 2. This is the best card to possibly get. Energy Potion is immediately used.
Yeah, this is interesting.
That's not going to be doubled, though, because the Blazing Aether was played to turn on Gaze the Ancients.
But what do you mean it's not going to be doubled?
We're not using this to double the. This is already resolved, just in case you just literally turn on the last 5 seconds.
No, it has.
That was like
it
6
hasn't
times
resolved.
2. It hasn't resolved?
No, he's doing all this on top
Oh,
of it resolving.
goodness
So
gracious.
all he has to do
6
for
times 2?
So all he has to do is gaze. To play gaze is to have played another wizard non-attack action, so he can play it, hold priority, play the gaze, get the benefit of the gaze, which he's done. So now he's doing all of this before Blazing Aether resolves. So this is how you do it on your combo turn too, as well. In some scenarios where you have to play the Blazing Aether first, for whatever reason, there's different.
Does this double that? Does Blazing
It'll
double
double all arcane damage dealt.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Waning Moon is the key.
yeah, Waning Moon can be very, very strong.
Because that's 9 arcane being shown. She can block 6. She has to block the right 6. Then there will be 3 times 2 is 6 more. She'll go down to 8. As soon as there's a red shown, okay, she's going to try and kill him.
Dude, let's go. Let's do it. We came here to play. Or did she?
Well, we're pointing at each other. Ragamuffin. This is my time.
My time down here.
I think they're talking about priority windows of what has currently happened. No damage has come through. Eugene has 2 cards. Oh, yes, damage has come through. So use those 2 resources up.
Interesting. So I think she pitched to block the Waning Moon, and then she activated Ragamuffins.
She blocked 1 of Waning Moon?
And then he played Emeritus in response. Yeah, I couldn't tell if that's a red or.
It's not looking good for Tiffany right now. She's thinking about it. She just put her pinky out. There's no card in her deck that does 12.
This is the face of a wizard right here. Do I pass priority? Okay.
My favorite thing about Evan, I know I dog on him a lot, but like, yeah, okay. Tiffany was like,
I think she was hoping for a blue off the top to save her, and that was a last-ditch effort. But yeah, there you go.
She did not have 2 blues in hand.
She did not. It looked like she had a bunch of reds, unfortunately.
What's in the arsenal, Tiffany? Flip it over.
I mean, I would assume it's Wildfire. But that.
So then it's like she had 2 blues last round and then these 2 red cards. Is there any way she can kill him when he has 2 cards in hand? No. Tiffany decided no on that.
Probably not. I mean, if it was me, I am a bit reckless. I might have gone for it because that seemed like the time to do it.
Yeah.
But not having an E-Pot or your Alluvian charged at that moment really hurts you, because if you're trying to Storm Striders or Metacarpus node, like, you are scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as like resources goes. So, but excellent game. Yeah. So she had the Wildfire.
Arsenal.
He had the double Blazing. So, he was basically threatening 1836 damage off of
there was
Emeritus, Waning Moon, and the double Blazing. So that's pretty nuts.
3 plus 6 times 2 times 2. 18 times 2, 36.
36. I did the math. Woo! I went to art school.
Oh my god. So that's Kano.
That was Kano. That was fun. I had a great time.
You're going to be watching that back if you're a Kano fan. It's Waning Moon.
I think Waning Moon. I think that's where you see it. Waning Moon feels worse throughout the game, but in that position, it turns into what?
Lazy
3,
Moon? Yeah.
6, and then
that's representing
it turns
12
into 9
damage by itself, basically.
Which is crazy. So
I said 2 different numbers, but I'm wrong.
I don't I'm trying to do the math and also talk, but I don't want to do it. It's good.
So the waning moon is 3.
And then the blazing ether gives it more 3. So I mean, I think it comes in for 9 basically. It turns into 9 damage.
Pretty much. I would agree with 9.
So that's pretty good, as we say in Flesh and Blood. So that was round 1, everybody. I don't think we have our meta breakdown slide set up
That's
yet.
the
Oh, we do?
longest
Let's look at the meta. That was a long
Kano
Kano
I've
game.
ever seen. Like, that was a very cool back and forth of that.
I think that's how that one goes, unless you just rip the combo off the top and catch someone off guard. But here's our meta game breakdown. Azalea did show up in 4th. So that is great to see. I'm excited to see that. I hope we get some Azaleas on stream. Of course, Oldhim, the original Frost Daddy, is still here. Is there not a single Icelander here?
That's insane.
Welcome to Southern California, where we
insane.
just
Winter is over.
do what we want.
I think people are just afraid of those inertia tokens, and they like, okay, Anthony was like, should I play Oldhim or should I play Icelander? And I was like, play Icelander.
And then he didn't listen.
And then he switched to Oldhim, and he's like, I'm going to be like 4 other people here.
But yeah, so Azalea Oldhim at the top. Dromai, of course. We do love Illusionists out here at 4. Bravo, 3. We've got those Bravo stands who don't do anything but. Shout out to Bryson. No, I don't think Chris Iali is playing Lexi, because I think Zane is playing Lexi, and so is Bryce. So curious to find out what.
Somebody's going to be on Azalea, man.
Oh, do you think Iali's on
That'd be
Azalea?
crazy.
Woo, I hope he is. We do got a couple Katsus.
This
And
just in. Craig Pollock wins today. Like, no shot. No shot Craig loses today.
Yeah, I think
Goodbye, everybody.
the one Levia is it
Probably Alan, yeah.
I heard he's thinking of bringing it to the Pro Tour, so maybe we'll see that on stream. He's feeling good about it. He is a specialist of sorts. Used to be a big Bolton player, and now he's been
oh, total peeps. Let's do the math real quick. 5
messing
plus 5 is
around.
10, 14, 17, 19, 21,
I think we're at
23,
30 something.
25, 27, and then 6. Yep, 33, everybody.
33. All right. Well, that was round 1. That was super exciting.
That was way fun.
Kano mirrors are the best. I think
Let's have a Kano tournament.
I would love a Kano tournament. I would have to play in it though, just because that's
AGE 9 will be that.
Kano's only. I think it is one of the most fun matchups, because it's just kind of the whole time you're just like, wait, is it my turn? It's your turn. Wait, who is right. And then you're just like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And it's just this back and forth that feels much. There's like an interesting feeling that's similar to like very mid-rangey games, but with the potential just to do something totally insane because you're a wizard. So, and we saw it there. It was a good game. Shout out to Tiffany and Eugene. Thanks for being on stream. And thanks to you, everyone, for watching. We'll be here all day. I think we got 6 rounds coming up. We got Sam and Josh Myers coming in to commentate with us. There's Alan, the man himself. And yeah, we'll be right back in a little bit with round 2.
8 minutes left in the round, and then another 5 minutes after that. Go put the hot pocket in.
Yeah, switch out the laundry.
Pick your kid up from soccer if they're 5 minutes away. Drop them off at their friend's house and come back and do it all over again for round 2.
This window behind us is fun. You just see people walk up and look.
Long break, baby.